Hi everybody, welcome back to Majestic Collectibles. So, as you can see, I picked up a little collection, came through my antique mall here in Des Moines, by the time you see this, probably a week or so ago. And I don't know, I wasn't going to originally shoot a video of this. I've had, Barbies in the past, but nothing... I don't know. I'm not real high on them as a collectible, so I thought I'd shoot this maybe as a little bit of a cautionary tale if you're a reseller or even if you're a collector. These are massively overproduced. There are some very good Barbies in the late 80s and through the 90s, but the vast majority are overproduced. And if you go and look on the website, if you've ever seen it when it has things we buy and things we don't buy, and right below Beanie Babies is 1990s Barbie dolls. So what am I doing with the collection of Barbie dolls? Well, one of the reasons I don't advertise for them is because of what I mentioned. There's so many, they show up whether I want them to or not. They're just like Beanie Babies. I mean, I'm constantly getting calls and questions about 90s Barbie stuff. The collectors are getting to that age where this is starting to come out in extremely large quantities. This is part of an estate, and any of that retro revival stuff from the 90s, which would include Barbies, include Hot Wheels, include junk wax, those are sports cards, extraordinarily overproduced stuff. And those folks that remember them from their youth, which are folks that mainly grew up in their in the 1950s. Sadly, they're not here anymore, or they're not going to be here shortly, or they're downsizing because they need extra care, a nursing home or whatever. And so these collections are coming out in huge quantities, and it's really driving the prices down in the turf. Now I'm in central Iowa, so depending on your location, you might fare better on some things. Two of the best ones are right here in front, and these are the wedding dress Barbies. Now I don't know if you can see it on there, but there's a lot of amber toning on the case, and yeah, there it is. I knew there was one. It has a split there, very common on this older plastic. Lots of dents and creases. Somebody taped up something here. A lot of the seams pop loose. I don't think it was ever removed, but it could have been, because what you do is you can pop these seals or pop these tabs out, and then you can lift the whole assembly out and just leave her. She'll stay right like that, except getting it back in is pretty messy, so I don't think that one's probably been removed. Two of the better ones, see some amber toning down there. Somebody's retaped it. These things had tabs and little plastic seals. They dry out. There you can see some dried tape on it, and they pop loose, so it's not uncommon to have those retaped. Depends on the collector, if they can tolerate that kind of stuff or not. So I'm just going to go through these quick. I just want to point out some things. If you do buy them, especially as a reseller, oh my goodness, rough day today, reseller, online, flea market, doesn't really matter. I tell you what, I rarely put more than $5 a piece into these things. Now there's exceptions. Ferrari, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie. There's some good dolls out there. And some of these would be good if the packaging was better and better condition. That makes a huge difference when there's so much stuff out in the marketplace. This yellowing, this amber toning, that down there. It really does hurt them a lot for collectors. And we're just going to cover some stuff. These were really dirty and dusty, kind of like that fire truck collection if you watched that video. Whereas it wasn't quite as bad, but it was pretty close. The holiday Barbies, there's a lot of them. And see, that one got dinged up there. Another common problem, I think it wasn't that one. One of these plastic inserts just fall off, the tape dries. It's a fairly easy fix. And what year is this one? This is 92, so again, a little earlier, which is better. You can see here, that's the seals, and they're still there. They just dry out and pop off, so they don't seal anymore. And very common issue with them. That's one of the nicer holiday Barbies as far as that goes. I can't even begin to tell you, I am not kidding you, I've probably had 24 of this particular holiday Barbie. Getting the feeling maybe she wasn't the most popular to begin with. This is 97 issue. One of the better ones, of course, more common. What I do with these, sometimes I'll try and put a few out in the antique mall when they're holidays, so with Christmas coming up and so on, but I have not had good luck with them. And when I mean good luck with them, I mean I'll put $15 on these and I will have them in February. So, you know, it just depends which ones you get. But that is not what I have had a ton of luck with. So how do I get rid of these? I'll tell you what, most of them go direct to consignment auction. I've also donated them. Not really toys for tots, but I'll take them to church if somebody wants a doll, or hand them out, or whatever. So kind of do that. Here's 1990. This is a little better one. This has the African American Barbie in it. And those do tend to have a little bit higher demand, at least here locally. I think it's probably because there just weren't as many of them around. And that's another Christmas theme one. Here's a Happy Holidays. This is another figure. I have had a lot of this particular one. You can see it's got the original Walmart sticker, $40. So these weren't cheap. Seals all dried out, so they're all been retaped. And I can't remember, let me see, which year was this? 98 on this one. Which you do see, you know, the late 90s, they pop up a little more than the earlier ones. Here's something. Don't do that if you're a collector, reseller, whatever. Somebody retaped it. This is when I talked about these inserts popping off, and I get it. I've got a loose one. It's coming up yet. One of these, they pop off. I'll show you how to fix that so you don't have the tape, because that'll damage that cardboard on it. And again, another Christmas one. Oh, I didn't look at the year, 92 on that. Again, some amber toning. So anytime you get that, it gets brittle. That plastic gets brittle. One wedding one I showed you had the crack. Here it's got some scuffing. I don't know if you can quite see that. It's got kind of cloudy. Must have been, I'm guessing it was a price tag is what was there. I'm not sure. Retaped again. Let's see, what year was that? 1990. Summer Barbie. Actually, that's a little better one too. That's the one I don't see a lot around these parts. And here's another holiday Barbie. These can be really tough to clean. There's a big old doink there. Again, retaped on a couple of the seals. You know, they cross-promoted with Hallmark for the ornament that matched the doll on that, so pretty common on a lot of that crossover stuff. Again, not anything I'm going to get too excited over. 2004, so I think this is the newest one. We'll have to keep looking, but I believe so. You can always tell because they've got kind of this scalloped indentation, which looks kind of neat, but it collects every speck of dust and dirt. So again, it's something, be careful cleaning it. I only use 50-50 water and vinegar mix in like a spray bottle, and that usually does the least harm. You don't want the chemicals on there or anything like that. Now here's a series, and this is Pink Label, 25th anniversary, so it's a little newer, I believe. Is that right? Let me get my years, if it'll tell me here. They're kind of hard to find. Yeah, Nope, I'm not seeing it right now, but I believe this is a little newer one. Renaissance Barbie. Now, the Dolls of the World series, actually, some of the countries are quite valuable, and they're beautiful, beautiful. They're usually in traditional dress from whatever country they're from. So depending on what it is, it could be a pretty good piece. This is in really nice shape. And the non-traditional, which when I talk about that, it's not the blue-eyed blonde Barbie. So the non-traditional Barbies, again, have a little more interest because I just don't think they made as many of them. And I'm not seeing the year on it. That's too bad. It's still sealed, no tape on this one. That one I have to look up. I don't think it's going to be super valuable. Here's one that I see scads. I've probably had well over 24 of these NASCAR Barbies. This one is really, really beat up. I have a hard time selling them even when the box is nice. This will be a direct to auction piece for sure just because of the condition. I don't know if you can see that it's all dented in, scratches on it. Just something that, again, I would not go out of my way for. Another holiday Barbie. You can tell there it's got a big old scab on it, more yellowing on the plastic, which generally means it's older. Oh, here we go. Can you hear that? So what it is they just have double-sided tape around the edges. So if you get some double-sided tape, you can usually just put it along the edges and carefully, there we go, carefully slide it back in, because that tape just dries out is really all it amounts to. So it's an easy fix. You don't have to put the tape over the edges or anything. This was $34.99 on that one. This is 1989, so again, a little older piece. So it's probably a little more valuable. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it's a water stain or somebody put cleaner on it. I'm not sure. 1988. So now you're starting to get back on these early ones, and this one happens to be in a really nice shape. Nobody taped it up. Does have a little bit of a ding and rub there, a little bit up there. I'll have to research this one. If there's going to be one that's got a little value besides the two wedding ones, it's probably going to be this, just because it's an earlier shell and nice shape that's never been opened. So we'll find out. Here's another holidays Barbie. I think this is a pretty early one too. I'll have to look it up. It's not one I've had a lot of, so I'm thinking it's probably in the 80s. Let me check. 91, so not too far off. Again, I have to look this up. The condition on it, a little bit of amber toning on the edge, but for a white box, not a lot of flaws, no extra tape, seals are fine on it. So that one could have just a little bit extra value. And last but not least, the Carnival Cruise Barbie Special Edition. Box is just absolutely, I don't even see that all, just beat to heck. Somebody taped a big crack, which when it cracks like that, that's not a bad idea because it will keep it from splitting more, or it can be sharp, so even, you know, like slicing your finger or something on it. This is another one that I do see fairly often, 97. It's a Carnival Cruise Line, so another crossover collectible. Again, I don't see a ton of value on this stuff. The skinny box stuff, which is just your rectangle versus your, you know, your enclosed shell thing. A lot of these don't seem to have as much value or collector interest around these parts. I think they just made so many of them again, and they're a lot more common in the stores. Some of that other exclusive stuff, you had to go to a certain store, Hallmark, Walmart, Kmart, Target, whatever it was to get it. So I think that was a difference there on some of them. And that's it. That's all I've got for the Barbies right now. Now, I did get another batch of dolls with this, and I'm going to pause here and get those out and show you because they're something a little different. Okay, so if anybody out there has any information or knowledge on these, Let me know in the comments section, because I'm flying blind on this one. I think they're really cool, but I've never had them. They're not old at all. I'm guessing another 1990s, and it's a set of angels. And at first, well, and this is how they were sold to me, I should say, is I was told it was a tree topper collection. You can see that's, well, it wasn't stored the best. Have to straighten that out. But it's not a tree topper collection. It's not deep enough. So I think it went on a display or a stand. It's kind of got this little mini two-prong plug. So I'm guessing there was something like a bar or something you could plug them into and turn them all on and off at the same time. I don't know. And made in China. I don't know if you can read that. And I don't have a manufacturer, at least I haven't found one. Now, I haven't taken these all out because they're really delicate. I don't know if you can see that. This is delicate stuff. They're beautiful. Very nice if you're into collecting angels or tree toppers, or I guess, you know, kind of, I would say Christmas themed on most of it. This one has like a fur coat on it. They're very clean, much cleaner than the Barbie. So somebody clearly, I'll put that down there, clearly took care of them and really liked them. And I don't think they were cheap. You know, even though they were mass-produced piece, I'm guessing they were probably not a whole lot cheaper than the Barbies, if at all. So, you know, $30, $35, maybe $40. I don't know. This is where I'm kind of flying blind on this. Here's a little different one. Now, again, I haven't tried these. It's got an adapter, so it doesn't appear to be battery operated. I'm assuming it lights up. I don't know if they play music. A little bit of dirt on the wing there. So I don't know if they play music or exactly what they do on this. And was this China too? I would guess it is. This BNCI. So again, I'm winging this thing. Oh, sorry, that was I didn't wings. I did not do that on purpose. Chad, stop it. I know what you're saying. It was an accident. Trust me on that. Got a couple more here. And this, I think, is a dupe. And maybe they came as sets for a display. I don't know. So this is the same as the other one. Same brand, whatever that is. Right there. I'll just put it right beside each other. You can see them. And I'm trying, they're in that tub, so I'm trying to take them out in one piece without breaking anything. Oh, so this one looks like it needs a little bit of, I'm not sure, it needs a little bit of work here. This one even has a hairnet to keep things in place. Her wings, I think, so there's a little hook there in the back of the dress. I'm thinking that's probably how that goes together, but I don't know for sure. My battery's dying. I will be right back. Now I've got two batteries that won't hold a charge, or I've got a ghost. I don't know which one. Anyway, back to her. So I think the wings are okay because it hooks in and there's a hook there. So I don't know. I think that just goes up. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's supposed to all go. To be honest with you on that. If somebody knows, let me know. This is a full doll, where the other ones were like an electronic plug-in. Has a nice stand with it, so that's nice. Definitely, again, was taken care of. This one is definitely on the delicate side. I'm going to put her there. And I've got, let's see here. I got a couple of things. All right, so here's another one, and it has that same plug, same made in China, kind of same overall look and design on it. So nice looking though. Again, looks like the star in her hand lights up, and very clean, especially when you get the white dresses. You can tell in a hurry whether or not that thing's been subjected to dirt. One thing I will say, if you're a smoker at all, or this comes from a smoking household wherever they were stored, You can get the scent out, but it's really tough and time consuming. So just an FYI for whoever's listening and watching out there. Tobacco scent, you can smell it a mile away if you're not a smoker. And most folks aren't anymore, so it does add up. And when it gets in the fabric of the Barbies or something like this, really, really tough to get out. So I'm going to set her there. I've got one more. I assume this is, I don't know, I'm guessing this is a different stand. Really cute little stand. Got the fake jewels. Got a little tag, but it doesn't use with, oh, okay. So it's a tea light candle holder. I thought it was a display for like one of the dolls with like a little angel or something would go in there. You know, you could set it on top. But it's for a tea light. So I learned something every day. And that came with, these all came with the Barbies. So same estate. Got them grouped together. The Barbies I've dealt with, the Angels I haven't. So if anybody knows anything about them, give me a shout. I'd be curious to know the history on these. That's it for this one, guys. Appreciate you watching. Check out our other videos. Click like. We'll catch you next time.